Hey, Mike Dion here. I wanted to do kind of a presentation on the new RTD10 movie poster and how it came to be. We utilized the same designer that we have for all of the other movie posters here. His name is Frank Wiedemann. He's a freaking rock star. I love that guy, and I thought it would be cool to go ahead and explain how this new poster came to be. So the other three posters are up here, and we had the conversation that this new poster absolutely should fit in with the look and the vibe of the other three movie posters. So for those, if kind of like behind me, if you have collected the other three, well, this new poster should easily fit into the gallery and your collection very easily. So that's was a big part of the conversation, and I think we absolutely accomplished that, looking at these all up on the same page together. So where did we start? We first started here. I went ahead and screen captured these and sent them off to Frank as some ideas that were in my head that I was kind of digging. So this 1917 poster, this sort of explosion, circular sun color and the silhouette happening here, I really dug. And then, Frank's got these watercolory textures kind of happening in here. You can kind of see, and I think he actually uses some watercolor textures that he creates and adds into these layers. And so I thought there could be something with clouds that we could continue that. And then with these circles, Frank called them concentric circles. I thought they could be something interesting, again, with silhouette and bicycle tires. But he kind of took it to another place with these mountains and whatnot. But that's where we started, was here. And Frank threw this at me. I'm like, and thankfully over the years I have learned that Frank's very early kind of ideas are that are in his head, not to get too hung up on really critiquing them or giving too much back and forth with them, as they are just very preliminary first sort of ideas. But he thought it could be two things that he wanted to get across with this was a bigger circle element, and I think perhaps that 1917 poster he was really gravitating to, and maybe these circles here. And then he wanted almost some celebratory sort of cyclist and perhaps 10-year anniversary celebration and whatnot. My initial thought was, well, it's pretty similar to what we did with Inspired to Ride with the silhouette cyclist, but let's roll with it and see what happens. So then the conversation, the next phase was, well, instead of a wheel, there could be really something interesting with a cassette, and again with many gears and time and different things. So that was, I think, a pretty cool piece of the conversation. So this was then the next phase. RTD10 starts taking a little bit of shape with some brushed metal. I'm a huge titanium fanatic, so he perhaps kind of worked with that idea. And the cyclist, I'm like, dude, I'm still not, I don't know about this cyclist piece happening here. But then with all of these anodization in the cassettes happening now, I threw these his way, which he was really kind of, I think, digging. And then as far as the cyclist, we went through some examples, and then it's like, well, this for very iconic image of Matthew, which was used in the opening sequence for Ride the Divide. We it's such an iconic image, I feel, that has really kind of been identified with Ride the Divide. So he kind of went with that and did a cutout, and we ended up here. We start seeing some of the mountains with these sort of concentric lines worked into it. I know, Frank said he was really kind of digging those. So that's where those ended up actually taking shape into the poster. And I was like, dude, this Matthew's front bag is all kind of droopy and worn over, the last 2,000 miles. So we found this image, and Frank cut this out to put in there. And then I was on Instagram and came across this image, which I thought was really interesting. Almost as the outer part of a cassette, but I thought there was really something interesting with the passage of time happening here, and 10-year anniversary, the passing of time, and that then Frank kind of played with and worked into this next phase, and we've got a cleaned up cyclist here. So if I kind of toggle back and forth, he kind of kind of cleaned up. Gosh darn it! Let's see here. Kind of cleaned up the bag. Kind of the cyclist, made it a bit more symmetrical, and whatnot. So that's where we are here. So now and then he added in some of the texture, super subtle texture with the helmet and the glasses and the jersey. And then Frank went away for a couple weeks and came back with this. I'm like, holy crap, I love the cassette taking on this sun element, this glowing moon, this sun, acting as if it's a light source, giving purpose to a silhouette cyclist happening here. The logo starts taking shape, and I think the comment here was, I'm not really digging the horizontal mountains as the cyclist is just really kind of hovering over them. So Frank went back and came up with this, and we're just kind of focusing on the mountains here, a bit more purpose for the cyclist to kind of be in this valley now, which then ended up here. So it started taking shape. We can kind of start seeing some of Frank's watercolor-y kind of textures and the rays happening now, because back to these older posters, he's got these cool rays happening, these sun rays happening in all of them, which I really freaking dig. So it was cool to see those end up in this new RTD10 element now. And then started playing with the color palette in the mountains, between these two. And then a discussion with the limited edition aspect of it. So this poster, you're only going to be able to get as part of our limited edition bundle, box set bundle, which we're creating and putting together. So we definitely needed to call out that there's going to be 1 of 1,000 and 2 of 1,000, and it'll be a hand numbered aspect to these. So we're going to actually hand number each of these 1,000 posters. So then it's like, where does that element end up? And it ended up down here in the corner. So then we had that discussion, and then he created this square element from us, which is actually going to be a sticker, and then we're using this in social profiles on Facebook and Instagram and everything as well. And if you would like a sticker, it's probably going to be a 3 by 3 inch sticker. Hit me up in the comments or wherever you're watching this, and we'll figure out how to get you the sticker. And then, so then this of 1,000 ended up down here, and we're kind of having conversations with our printer here in Denver that maybe that this will be in sort of a foil or a metallic box, and 1,000. So definitely giving it some oomph and calling attention out to this area here. And I wanted to mention to you, since we are building a new poster and film and everything else, we opened up some new sponsorship opportunities, and also getting some new names in here with executive producers and associate producers. So if you would like to see your name in this credit stack on the movie poster, go to rtd10.com right now and get some information. We're kind of have created, while Hunter and I are editing this, it's kind of a Kickstarter campaign meets a funding, like a member funding that like a film festival would do. I kind of actually got the idea from the Mountain Film Festival, and there's perks and some different categories, and you get some recognition and name instead of being in the film festival sort of magazine. Well, you actually get your name on a movie poster and on the DVD, and wherever this credit stack ends up, forever and ever, your name will be prominently there, as well as you can get your name in the film's credits and a few things. Go to RTD10 and check it out. And it supports Hunter and I actually creating these new versions with editing and potentially new music with this RTD10 version of the film. So that's where we are today. Hopefully that was kind of cool. And we will continue to keep you updated as we start building out these new aspects of what RTD10 is becoming with posters, and the next step is to kind of figure out what this box set is going to contain and look like. So that's the next sort of big design exercise, and see what that looks like. So appreciate you all, and till next time, ciao.